So if we go back to Oakland and we think we have this $300 million that we want to bridge, we have a city council that is saying we can only pay for this. This is but for, we're not, you're not going to trick us by telling us by building Howard Terminal, we're going to make all the money in the world. How do they bridge this gap? I've heard limited obligation bonds. Casey, have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, the limited obligation bond is one option. It's not like a general obligation bond, which is what they did with the Raiders, which basically screwed the taxpayers. A limited obligation bond protects them. Zenny Abraham has a million other ways that this could happen that he says pencil out, but it all goes right over my head, frankly. So I will keep it simple. Yes, that plus grants. They can still apply for more grants. Just because that things didn't go well with that mega project grant doesn't mean that there aren't other grants on the table. I pointed out those regional Measure 3 funds, which are available now. Also, the mega project grant, everyone reported it was done, over, dead. They didn't get it. That's not true. I've actually talked to a lot of people about that. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good that they're going to get that money, but it is not official that they're not getting that money. They can still take it to committee and they can still try to modify or alter their bid. So it's not dead yet, but it doesn't look encouraging.
And that's that possible 183 million that they were talking about a few weeks
That's
ago,
the
right?
grant,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
so everyone said that's off. No one has been told officially in Congress that is done here. You need to give 30-day notice, and no one has received that notice as far as I know.
In Casey, in your conversations with Shang Tao, I mean, I know she's just getting settled in. She probably doesn't want to say anything either way. Like, she probably doesn't want to show her hand yet or whatever. But just what do you kind of get from her? Obviously, she's gonna probably say she wants to do the best deal done for Oakland. But have you been able to dig past any generalities that she said to you so far, like her gut feeling on the project?
I mean, that's a really long time right before the election, and we really dove all about Howard Terminal, frankly. And she blew me away. I was very, very impressed by Shang Tao. I thought that she was a great choice for mayor. And I think she has the right approach. That being said, I think that she just got elected. She just got in office. I think it's chaotic for her. There's a lot of other things going on. And I don't know that the levels of communication and organization are there. And hopefully it's a yet, not just permanently they're not there. But she says she's talking to the A's, which is great. She's yet to talk to the MLB commissioner, which is bad. But yeah, it's hard to say really what we're really going to get out of that administration, because they're still trying to, figure out what to do as a new administration.
Yeah, and I think too that it's really tough to be asking. There's a lot of reasons why Oakland, like that I wouldn't blame necessarily Oakland. If you think about like who the people are who benefit mostly from a new stadium, like other than the A's, it's baseball fans, and baseball fans are spread widely across the country, or the East Bay. They're not all in Oakland, and actually a lot of them aren't in Oakland. Yeah.
The difference I see, he's absolutely right. It's a regional team. It's not, everybody that benefits from the A's is not located in Oakland. And that's partially why Alameda County is also on the hook for.
Yeah, not even Alameda County. It's like Contra Costa County, probably.
Yeah, it's all over the East Bay. I mean, the whole territory. And the big difference I see with Howard Terminal, and Hal is an economist, so he knows more about this, and it's probably really hard to quantify. But when you or I go to an A's game, we drive in, we park, we watch the game, we leave, or we barred in, we watch the game, we get a hot dog on the bridge, we barred out. It's not like you're spending money in Oakland. You're not patronizing businesses. If you build at Howard Terminal, the difference is more often than not, now everyone will barred in. They'll walk down, 12th Street Broadway. They'll patronize bars and restaurants and coffee shops and beast mode and Oaklandish along the way. They'll come through Jacqueline and Square, and they'll probably get food, get drinks, handle those businesses there on their way into the ballpark. You're going to spend a lot more money and a lot more time in Oakland if they build in Howard Terminal, as opposed to what they have now, where it's like, come in, watch game, leave. No money goes to Oakland.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Hal, you there, bud?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, great. I think what I was going to say, it's just tough too, is that even with that, it's really tough to get money. It's really tough to get money from a wide range of areas to pay for this infrastructure. If the people who are benefiting from it live way out in the suburbs or live in Sacramento, it would be great if all these sort of cities could band together to pay for it. But we're sort of asking Oakland, which, Oakland is, they amongst all these cities might, this might be the lowest on their list. They, they have the highest poverty rates in the area. They have the most expensive, they're trying to deal with funding schools and all these other things, and we're trying to kind of ask them to just pay for our ballpark too. It's tough. I think I think one way that just we've structured our cities and suburbs makes it a little bit harder to pay for these baseball parks.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you guys, I thought it was interesting. Her first public comments came the day after, her press conference at the Coliseum and like Dave Cavill's visit to Vegas. How does that whole AASEG deal with the Coliseum side affect things? Because the A's still own 50%, right? But if AAESG is an exclusive negotiating agreement with the Coliseum, does that mean the A's have to start negotiating with AASEG? Like, how did that whole dynamic all work? Can you explain that?
Yeah. So where it gets interesting is the A's bought the county's half. The county's half has apparently no control over the property. So it's hard to say what they even bought, to be honest, because if you own half of something and you get no say whatsoever in what happens there, it's hard to say what you even own. So right now they own half the property, but they can't say anything about what goes on there. The city, they probably were hoping to buy the city's half too, and the city wouldn't sell. AASEG now needs to negotiate with the A's because AASEG could build, let's just say, I'm just going to make this up completely. Let's just say they spend $10 billion developing the Coliseum site, right?
Yeah.
And then all the revenues and all the property taxes and all the great things that come out of that 10 billion would then have to be split with the A's. And the A's would barely have to lift a finger. So right now, the onus is almost on AASEG to buy out the A's half and just get them out of there. All that being said, nobody on this planet wants the A's at Howard Terminal more than AASEG. They want to do everything in their power to help the A's get that Howard Terminal site, because the sooner they can get the A's off that property, the sooner they can do what they really want to do there.
So, I mean, I think because I know they've pursued WNBA and WSL franchises. I mean, that'd be cool, right? It could be like a women's sports hub in the Bay Area, right? They could house both of those teams, right? Is that possible?
Yeah. I mean, but is that really as interesting or lucrative or as much of a draw as Major League Baseball?
Right now? I mean,
no.
Right now with nobody attending A's games? Sure.
I mean, dude, they could probably get more. They could probably get more fans at a WNBA game than an A's game. Honestly,
I'm going to doubt that. But the thing is I think WNBA would be awesome in Oakland. I think the soccer, I mean, maybe if they can get the roots on the Malibu site, that all would be cool.
But I mean, they could be both. It's like
cool,
they could,
yeah.
I mean, I'm saying like if the A's go to Howard Terminal, like that would be a great thing for the Coliseum, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because they're not going to get rid of the arena. The arena stays no matter what.
Yeah.